Hello students, in our today's video, we will discuss oxidation state and other chemical properties of group 17 elements. Group 17 elements, as we know, their general configuration is Ns2Np5. So they require only one electron to complete the octet and get the noble gas configuration. As a result, their common oxidation state is -1. So all halogens will exhibit -1 oxidation state. Now here you have to remember one important fact, that fluorine will always show -1 oxidation state. Fluorine can never ever show positive oxidation state. But other elements like chlorine, bromine and iodine, they can show positive oxidation state. Chlorine, bromine and iodine, they can show +1, +3, +5 or +7 oxidation state. But there is one condition, chlorine, bromine, iodine, they will show this positive oxidation state only when they combine with more electronegative elements like fluorine and oxygen. Otherwise, chlorine, bromine, iodine will carry on their original oxidation state -1. These elements can show plus oxidation state is +3, +5 and +7 because of the presence of d orbital. On the other hand, fluorine can never ever show plus oxidation state. For positive oxidation state is never shown by fluorine. There are many factors responsible for it. The first one, small size. And second is the absence of d orbital. And one more reason, that is high electronegativity. We know fluorine is the most electronegative element of the whole periodic table. This concept, fluorine never shows positive oxidation state or fluorine has always -1 oxidation state, affects many chemical properties of fluorine. For explaining the positive oxidation state, I have taken the example of chlorine. Chlorine with its electronic configuration 3s2 3p5 and vacant 3d orbital can show +1, +3, +5 as well as +7 oxidation state. This is the original configuration and the distribution of electron in chlorine. So with the loss of this one electron, it can show +1 oxidation state, or by gaining one more electron, it can show -1 oxidation state. Now, if one electron from 3p, it gets excited to 3d. So the distribution of electron is now, one electron gets excited to 3d. Now with the loss of these 3 electrons, chlorine can show +3 oxidation state. So this is the explanation for positive oxidation state. Similarly, one more electron can get transferred from 3p to 3d. So now presence of 5 unpaired electron, it explains +5 oxidation state. These 5 unpaired electrons can be lost easily. One more electron can be transferred from 3s to 3d. So now total there will be 7 unpaired electrons, and these 7 unpaired electrons are responsible for +7 oxidation state of chlorine. All halogens, because of their configuration Ns2Np5, these are highly reactive. Since they require only one electron to complete the octet, and therefore all halogens, they are good oxidizing agents. Because we know they will accept one electron, accepting the electron, that means the reduction, and since they themselves get reduced, all halogens, they are good oxidizing agent. Among them, F2 is strongest oxidizing agent. This we have studied in electrochemistry also, that fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent among all elements. Fluorine accepts 2 electron to complete the octet with its E naught value plus 2.87 volt. So highly positive E naught value explains the strong oxidizing nature of fluorine. So fluorine being strongest oxidizing agent, it oxidizes other halide ions in solution or even in the solid phase. Generally, a halogen oxidizes halide ion of higher atomic number. For example, fluorine can oxidize any halogen like chlorine, bromine or iodine. Chlorine can oxidize other halogens like bromine and iodine, whereas bromine can oxidize only iodine. To prove the oxidizing nature of halogens, or rather than to prove the relative strength of oxidizing nature of halogens, we can carry out the reaction of halogens with water. And this reaction of halogens with water can help us to explain the relative oxidizing power of halogens. For example, fluorine can oxidize water to oxygen, and this reaction is a very violent reaction. Other halogen like chlorine and bromine, they can oxidize water to corresponding hydrohalic or hypohalous acid. This is correspondingly moderate reaction. And iodine, the reaction of iodine with water is comparatively non-spontaneous. It requires energy to be given. And therefore we can say iodide can be oxidized by oxygen only in acidic medium. So this explains the trend of oxidizing power, that fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent than other halogens. This whole question can be asked for 3 marks, that explain the relative oxidizing power of halogens. So that was all about the oxidation state of halogens. Now let us discuss the chemical properties or chemical trends. For discussing the chemical trends or chemical reactivity of halogens, first of all we must know the anomalous behavior of fluorine. We know fluorine is an element of second period, and all the elements of second period, they have small size, exceptionally small size, because halogens again they themselves are the smallest in their respective periods. So fluorine have exceptionally small size, highest electronegative, most electronegative of the whole periodic table, low bond dissociation enthalpy, and there is no d orbital in fluorine. As a consequence, ionization enthalpy, electrode potential of fluorine becomes very high. It cannot expand its covalency beyond 4. Other factors like melting point, boiling point, ionic radii, electron gain enthalpy are low than the expected trend. And since its E naught is very high, it is a strong oxidizing agent. Let us begin with the first chemical property, reactivity towards hydrogen. All the halogens react with hydrogen to give hydrogen halide. For example, hydrogen react with fluorine to give hydrogen fluoride. This reaction is a very violent one. Hydrogen reacts with chlorine to give 2HCl. This reaction takes place in diffused sunlight. Hydrogen reacts with bromine to give HBr. We have to provide heat for this reaction. And lastly, to get hydrogen iodide, we need heat as well as we need platinum as a catalyst. Now the different reaction conditions explains the different reactivity of halogens toward hydrogen. So fluorine becomes most reactive, followed by chlorine, bromine and iodine. So the reactivity of halogen towards hydrogen decreases down the group. If we look at the physical state of hydrogen halide, we find that hydrogen fluoride exists as liquid and all other hydrogen halide like HCl, HBr and HI, they exist as gases. Now this anomalous behavior of hydrogen fluoride, it is due to presence of hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding in hydrogen fluoride makes it a liquid. Like hydrogen, fluorine, we know fluorine being more electronegative, del minus charge will be developed on it. and then there will be formation of hydrogen bond in them. So because of this intermolecular hydrogen bond formation, hydrogen fluoride exists as a liquid. This is important give reason question. Let us have a glance at melting points and boiling point of hydrogen fluoride. Now when we look at the information of these values, we find that melting point or boiling point of hydrogen fluoride is the highest one. Reason? Just now we have seen it is because of the presence of intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Whereas as we move down further in the group from HCl to hydrogen iodide, the melting point or boiling point increases. This is because as we move down the group, what happens? The size of halogen increases. Weak van der Waals forces increases. And therefore, the melting point or boiling point increases. But in any case, hydrogen fluoride will have highest value of melting point or boiling point as compared to other hydrogen halide. One very interesting phenomena about the bond length and bond dissociation enthalpy of hydrogen fluoride is as the size of hydrogen and halide increases, that is as the size of halogen specially increases, the bond length increases, bond dissociation enthalpy decreases. It is because halogen they become larger in size and hydrogen being smaller in size, the bond length will increase, bond dissociation enthalpy will decrease. And therefore, the sequence for the bond length will be hydrogen fluoride with the least bond length, then HCl, HBr, and hydrogen iodide will have the highest bond length. Bond length is inversely proportional to bond dissociation enthalpy, and therefore the sequence for bond dissociation enthalpy will be exactly reverse. Hydrogen iodide will show the least bond dissociation enthalpy. Sorry, this is HBr. That means hydrogen iodide, this bond can be broken very easily as compared to hydrogen fluoride, and this also explains the acidic character of hydrogen iodide, about which we'll be discussing later. Thermal stability of hydrogen halide decreases from hydrogen fluoride to hydrogen iodide. That means hydrogen fluoride becomes the most stable, whereas hydrogen iodide becomes the least stable. Now this decrease in the stability of hydrides is due to decrease in the bond length. Bond strength. Bond strength decreases down the group and therefore thermal stability decreases down the group. The decreasing thermal stability of hydrogen halide from hydrogen fluoride to hydrogen iodide indicates that the reducing character increases down the group. We also know reducing character is inversely proportional to thermal stability. This means hydrogen fluoride is not a good reducing agent at all. HCl can be weak reducing agent. HBr becomes little bit more strong oxide reducing agent, and hydrogen iodide, it is strongest reducing agent. One of the frequently asked questions about the hydrogen halides is related to its acidic strength. Although fluorine is the most electronegative among the halogen, the electronegativity difference will be maximum in hydrogen and fluoride, and therefore we are expecting it to be more acidic. But it is actually reverse one. Hydrogen iodide is comparatively a strong acid and hydrogen fluoride is comparatively weak acid. The reason lies in the fact that bond dissociation enthalpy of hydrogen iodide is least. Just now we have seen because of the large difference in size of iodine and hydrogen. Hydrogen iodide bond can be cleaved very easily. hydrogen can be released very easily and therefore it becomes strongly acidic in nature. As compared to hydrogen fluoride, it has maximum bond dissociation enthalpy because the size difference will be comparatively less. And therefore, although fluorine is the most electronegative element, hydrogen fluoride becomes weak acid and hydrogen iodide becomes the strong acid. Moving on to next chemical property, reactivity towards oxygen. The first case, fluorine reacts with oxygen to form two compounds, oxygen difluoride and dioxygen difluoride. The interesting case is that in both these compounds, oxygen will show positive oxidation state. Oxygen will show here +2 and in this case it will show +1 oxidation state because it is combining with the most electronegative element. Although among these compounds, only OF2 is stable at 298 Kelvin. Whenever any element combines with oxygen, the resulting compound is called as oxides. But in this case, when fluorine reacts with oxygen, the compounds of OF2 and O2F2, they are not called as oxides, but they are called as oxyfluorides. They are called as oxyfluorides because of high electronegativity of fluorine. And since they are oxyfluorides, they are both strong fluorinating agents. They can easily give fluorine to other compounds. On the other hand, chlorine, bromine, iodine, they form oxides with oxidation state +1, +3, +5 or +7. And these are called as oxides. Remember, always the more electronegative element will have minus oxidation state and less electronegative element will have positive oxidation state. Now, when chlorine, bromine, iodine combines with oxygen, oxygen has more electronegativity and therefore these elements will show positive oxidation state. For example, chlorine forms oxides like Cl2, ClO2, Cl2O6, Cl2O7, where Cl2 acts as a bleaching agent in paper, pulp and industries, as well as it is used for water treatment. In all these elements, chlorine will show positive oxidation state. For example, in the first one, it will show +1 oxidation state. And in the last one, it will show +7 oxidation state. Bromine oxides are Br2O, BrO2, BrO3. Although these are comparatively less stable halogen oxides and they exist only at low temperature. Iodine forms oxides like I2O4, I2O5 and I2O7. These are generally insoluble solids. I2O5, it is comparatively good oxidizing agent and used for estimation of carbon monoxide. Reactivity towards metal. This is the next chemical property that we have to discuss. Any metal react with halogen to form metal halide. For example, magnesium reacts with bromine to give magnesium bromide. Now these halides, they can show both ionic as well as covalent character and it depends on the size of cation or anion. Ionic character decreases generally in the order, fluoride being highly ionic and iodide being comparatively least ionic. Now this answer can be explained with the help of Fajan's rule. Similarly, we have already studied the halides in higher oxidation state are more covalent than in lower oxidation state. Again, Fajan's rule is the explanation for this. For example, tin chloride, lead chloride and SbCl5, antimony chloride, they are more covalent than tin chloride, lead chloride and antimony trichloride. If we look at the oxidation state, here tin is in +4 oxidation state, lead is also in +4 oxidation state, Sb, that is antimony, is also in +4 oxidation state. Tin chloride here +2. All these are in lower oxidation state and these compounds are in higher oxidation state, therefore they are more covalent. Remember Fajan's rule, this word must be written in your answer in your board exams. The last chemical property is reactivity of halogen with other halogens. Halogens being so reactive, they can combine among themselves also to form a compound called as interhalogens. Interhalogens will be studying in detail in our next video. Interhalogens can be of the type XX-, XX-3, XX-5 and XX-7, where X is the halogen of larger size and X- is the halogen of smaller size. And there will be obviously the change in the oxidation state. Anyway, interhalogens will be discussed in our next video. We are coming to one last interesting topic, that is oxoacids. Fluorine forms only one oxoacid because of its -1 oxidation state. This is a question which is repeated many a time because of its -1 oxidation state. And why it shows -1 oxidation state, that we have discussed many a times. So there are 4 types of acids: hypohalous acid, halic acid, halous acid, halic acid and perhalic acid. In the first case, hypohalous acid, all the halogens show +1 oxidation state. In halous acid, all the halogens show +3 oxidation state. In halic acid, +5, and in perchloric acids, +7 oxidation state will be exhibited by corresponding oxoacids. So chlorine form all 4 types of oxoacid, and therefore we will be studying the structures of oxoacids of chlorine only. So the first one, hypochlorous acid, HOCl. So directly we can write as Cl attached to oxygen and hydrogen. So first one, hypochlorous acid. Second one, chlorous acid, HClO2. So chlorine is attached to OH, where this hydrogen will be ionized. One more oxygen will be left, which will be completed by double bond. So this is the structure of chlorous acid. Thirdly, chloric acid. In chloric acid, again Cl, it is attached to O and H, HClO3. So still 2 more oxygen are left out. They will be doubly bonded to oxygen. And lastly, perchloric acid, chlorine will be bonded with OH. Now 3 oxygen will be left out, and all these 3 oxygens will be doubly bonded with chlorine. This is the structure of perchloric acid. So in today's video, we have discussed the chemical properties, oxidation state and the structures of oxoacid of various halogens. Based on today's video, here there are certain assignment questions for you people. That's all for the day. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.